Hello. Amber warnings are enforced from the Met Office for Sunday and Monday. Some parts are in some really wet weather, particularly northern and western parts of the UK. It's still likely to be mostly drier, a little bit brighter in the south and east and milder. There are numerous yellow warnings in force as well. The details are on the website. The reason for the wet weather, this next area of low pressure, the tightly packed isobars bringing the wind, but that rain just gets stuck, as you can see, in certain areas. And it's these areas where we expect to get perhaps 100 or 200 millimetres of rain. In fact, many parts are going to see some very wet weather in the next couple of days, but very little rain reaches the Midlands, East Midlands, East Anglia and the South East. But it is going to be a case of perhaps as much as 100 to 130 millimetres of rain over the Galloway Hills and the southern uplands, feeding into the river systems, and hence the high likelihood of flooding. And of course, remember, amber does mean there's a potential danger to life. We've also got that Met Office warning out across parts of northwest England. That runs for the best part of 36 hours. The one across Scotland mostly during the day on Sunday, well, the early hours and right the way through the day. Well, you can see why. Perhaps not much rain getting east of the Grampians, wet for Northern Ireland, wet for northwest England, wet for northern western parts of England and Wales. A little bit chilly, but just patchy fog in southern and eastern areas, but breezy here. And still that breeze will blow holes in the clouds, so bright with some sunshine. Mild too, temperatures well above the average, but obviously we've got all that wind and rain. Still blowing a gale for a time as we move through into Monday. That weather front still with us, still dragging in all this mild air from the tropics, and mild air does tend to yield more moisture. It can carry more moisture. So again, that rain just keeps going through Sunday night and into Monday. Drier though it looks for Scotland. Eventually that rain clears the south and east and Northern Ireland, perhaps some pockets of mist and fog first thing. And although cloudier in southern and eastern areas, still looking mainly dry on Monday. But the Met Office amber warning continues for parts of northwest England, and it's more widely, you can see, wet across Wales and the southwest. So concerns for flooding in many other areas as well, just because the ground is so saturated. Now, by Tuesday, it eventually arrives in the south and east, we feel, and then high pressure noses in between, and then the showers get set up in the northwest. Quite sharp showers with gusty winds as well, but generally speaking, a lot of dry and settled weather to come for parts of southern Scotland, parts of northern England, Wales and the southwest, where we see a lot of rain Sunday into Monday. But it doesn't last, that drier spell of weather. Early mist and fog, but then the rain rushes in, or outbreaks of rain on Wednesday, on strong to gale force winds once again, relatively mild. Temperatures well above the average, 9 to 11, when they should be about 5 to 9 at this time of year. And then we might see another developmental low on this weather front moving into Thursday. But again, devil's in the detail at this stage in the forecast. But it could once again be quite a wet day and potentially quite a windy day as well. Across this time, it looks like England, Wales, it coming into southern Scotland and Northern Ireland. But again, it's on top of already saturated ground. Possibly another little low pressure Friday and into the start of the weekend. Another low pressure coming in. So you can see the setup at the moment. The jet stream's active. It's pushing those weather fronts our way. Just the hint, though, that we might start to see a nose of high pressure between Scandinavia and the UK later in the period, the end of next weekend and beyond, which would quieten things down, stop these developing lows coming across our shores and give us some drier weather. More as ever online. Good afternoon. Beautiful start to the day for many parts of the UK. It should stay mainly dry and fine through the weekend in the south and the east, but it's all changed already further north with the wet, windy and mild weather coming in. There are numerous warnings coming to force later today and tonight, and the details are online. It'll all be courtesy of this area of low pressure, the tightly packed isobars indicating the strong winds. But once it starts sitting across the UK, that weather front just hanging out in the west here, it doesn't move much. So plenty of sunshine ahead of that, continuing for many parts of England and Wales through the day. But the winds are now ramping up to 60, 70 mile an hour gusts of wind, with that rain being pushed in across most of Scotland, that rain, and Northern Ireland, and with it milder air as well. So there's a lot of moisture around to come. But a fine day for many parts of England and Wales. The cloud patchy rain does come into the north and west as we go through this evening and overnight. Briefly chilly, but not as much frost or fog as last night because there's more cloud and wind, and there's certainly more rain further north and west, with the amber warning from the Met Office taking part right from midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning across the southwest of England. So during Sunday, we're expecting over 100 millimetres of rain to fall for the likes of the Galloway Hills and the southern uplands, and for parts of Cumbria and the northwest up to 200 millimetres because the rain lasts into Monday as well. So pretty miserable day in comparison across Northern Ireland, much of Scotland, northern and western parts of England and Wales tomorrow. After that briefly chilly start in the south and east, still mild with lots of dry and fine weather, still windy but perhaps a notch down on today, still mild for the time of year. But look, that weather front has another little wriggle on it on Monday, so it's held in place and it's just pulsing up heavier rain at times. May well clear southern Scotland by Monday, but it's persisting northwestern England, Wales and the southwest. Real concerns for flooding. To the north of it, yes, it brightens up with showers and still mostly dry in the south and east, but cloudier Monday. But it is quite a concern. It doesn't actually clear until Tuesday in the south and east, and there's